Welcome back, friends. Zach here, full-time reseller, and it's a beautiful bluebird day up here in northern New Mexico. It's Friday, so I'm gonna go out and try to troll around for a little while, see if I can't catch a few garage sale boxes or signs on the street corners, and see if I can't find some deals. Our garage sale season is quickly winding down, and we probably only have a few more weeks until it gets really cold and the numbers are just going to die off. So I'm trying to make every bit of my effort towards trying to save some money and trying to scoop up some deals before I have to return back to being a full-time thrifter, which is expensive, but that's all right. At least I have that in my bag of tricks. So follow along. I'll share with you the deals I come across, and I'll share with you what I hopefully am able to sell these items for. Start of the day, kind of smaller. Well, didn't find too much at this first stop, but met a cool cat who told me there was a good garage sale up in the foothills area. So I might just boogie over there. That's a more affluent neighborhood, an area I like to source from. So let's boogie. What you guys want on the work boots, ma'am?
$5.
$5. Would you guys take 4 for them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a deal. I've looked at them the last couple times I went by, so I thought maybe I should just buy them today. You know, if I can't count on anybody else to have a garage sale, I know you guys will. Doing any good this morning, or is it too early to tell?
Too early.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little too cold for these kind of get-togethers, huh?
Yeah, well, the lady next door, she wants to put her car in the garage. I thought, well, I'll try putting them out and see if anybody, because I've had them in a curio cabinet.
Would you take 20?
About 30.
How about 25? I'll give them a good life in a curio cabinet of my own. You do 25. Those are in immaculate condition. I appreciate it, ma'am. Very cool looking.
Do we want to put them out?
Well, I went ahead and shelled out for these guys. They were in just too good a condition. Now, they're not in perfect mint condition. They do have a few little marks, but I looked them up. Prices were kind of all over the board. I think they were worth the $25 investment. She actually wanted 40 for them. She's made some deals for me in the past, so just kind of had to work with her on it. I'm grateful for her. She's a sweet lady. Also scooped up these Ariat steel toe work boots for $4. I've been actually looking at them the past few weekends. I think they wanted like 10 or 15 bucks for them earlier in the summer. Last weekend, I think they did tell me 8, and then this morning she said 5. I countered to 4, and so talk about slow playing a deal. So just boogied right down the street and ran into another garage sale sign, and this is actually an older couple who have sold to me in the past. They have a couple garage sales per summer. Looks like they're having an end of season sale, so gonna race in here and look around. Unfortunately, no luck at that stop, and those individuals must have had one of the oldest Waring blenders I've ever seen, but it didn't have the lid, which is too bad because I don't mind selling some vintage kitchen appliances, kitchen equipment, especially the smaller stuff that can be easy to ship. And Waring is a great brand, but it didn't have a glass pitcher. It was actually plastic. I kind of picked it up, looked at it, talked to him about it, and so no big deal. Going to go ahead and keep on boogieing and hope for the best, but super stoked about finding those vintage toys this morning. Still got a smile on my face 10 minutes later. So one thing I've been working pretty diligently on with my eBay store is just simply trying to get all of my winter items, my winter wear, my coats, the coveralls, the denim out and listed to my store. I'm doing that for several reasons. And the first reason is this: those items I probably paid more for, and because of that, I'm probably gonna be able to sell them for more. But I also wanna be able to get credit for my cost of goods going into the 2025 tax season. So I definitely want to get those more expensive items that will sell for more listed so I can get that credit. But then the other reason is it's Q4 right now. this is when you make a lot of your money as a reseller. And I learned this the last few years. I learned that if I backstocked enough good stuff for the winter, that I'd really do well on my sales, and that has definitely been the case. So I'm excited for the next couple months to come. It's gonna be busy, and while I still haven't got all my winter stuff listed, I suggest you do that. Put your good stuff out so you get that credit for your purchased items or your cost of goods, but also so that you can sell it, because now is the spending season and you want to be on board with that.
Because Brad said he does not take returns. He said the mattress stays. I don't take returns. I think this probably needs to tightened up.
Thank you for the deal, ma'am. I appreciate it. Good luck with y'all sale. All right, this is definitely paying up, but I'll do that for a new Carhartt jacket. They wanted $40 for this jacket. It's new with tags. Got a bunch of dog hair on it. They never actually wore it because it was a work given jacket, and unfortunately the gentleman just never wore it. So this does devalue it, but this helps it, and I'll pay $25 for a used Carhartt if it's in great condition, a great style. So I'll definitely pay $25 for a new Carhartt, even if it does have the embroidery. So paying up today, but I'm good with that. Well, definitely glad to grab that Carhartt, and 25 bucks is paying up, but it's brand new, and I'm totally good with it having that embroidery. The lady did have several Eddie Bauer down-filled vintage jackets, and I like Eddie Bauer down-filled jackets, but they were just beat to heck, and she had told me she had paid like $200 and something for each of them, and that was like 30 years ago. So she didn't quote me a price on what she wanted for them, but I imagine it was probably more than I'd want to pay for an old beat-up Eddie Bauer down-filled jacket. So I definitely went for what was calling, and that was my business partner. My business partner is Carhartt. If you know me and you watch my videos, I sell tons of Carhartt, and that's because I live in an area where I can source it very predominantly, very frequently. Where I live is very rural. It's a very conservative area. There's a lot of farmland. There's a lot of oil field and industrial work around this area. So Carhartt items, flame resistant items, just work utility items in general are items that I can constantly find. So I keep coming back to this point. If you live in an area where there's a lot of golf courses, be looking for golf gear, be looking for golf clubs, be looking for golf clothing. If you live in Texas, you're probably going to be able to find a lot of cool Western wear, some good Lucchese or Lucchese boots, Tecovas boots, good vintage Wrangler pearl snap shirts. So just know that where you live has its own culture, it has its own style, its own flair, and try to hone into the things that are predominant in your area. I always keep coming back to that point, but that helped me so much a couple years ago, and it helped me to really clue into what I could find most regularly and what I could sell for the most. And this time of year, that's work utility. All right, next garage sale just right up the street. I'm up in the foothills area, very good affluent neighborhood, hoping for the best. All right, so here's the haul from that stop. They just wanted 50 cents for this Harley Davidson 100th anniversary book. It was new, never used. Has a little bit of damage on the front corner here, but again, still shrunk wrap other than that corner. And I did look it up. They sell for about 10 bucks, but 50 cents into 10 bucks, I'm good with that. And Harley Davidson is very collectible. Also scored this Harley Davidson coffee mug, 75 cents. And then the big find was this Jack Daniels Resell football helmet for $1. Jack Daniels, highly collectible. People like to put this kind of stuff in their man cave, in their bar, in their house. And football is as American as apple pie. So yeah, not a bad scoop for a couple bucks. So right outside of an estate sale right now, and I'm not so certain if this is an agency putting on this sale or if this is just a family who's using estate sale signage and flags, but nonetheless, let's go find a deal. Man, those are old school. That's what skates looked like when I was a kid. I love Pendleton, but a little too rich for my blood. Nice blanket though. Just another beautiful Pendleton blanket, but yeah, More for a collector than a reseller. That might be worthy of a grab. It's a good price. It's a little beat up, but that don't matter. And another Pendleton blanket. Crazy. And another Pendleton blanket. All right, if you know, you know. If you're into mugs, this is one worth grabbing.
Yeah, we're all at the parade. Yeah.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, man.
So how about a full $5, please?
I'm good with that.
All right,
Thanks
I'm
for
good
the
with that
deal.
too.
I'll come by and see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Have a good one, man.
You're welcome. You buy Doomies?
I do. You got me?
I do.
Are they stashed away somewhere? All right, so here's the haul. Here's my haul at the estate sale. Picked up this Coach wallet, a little scuffed up. Inside has some ink marks. That's all right for $5. I don't mind. Somebody will buy it, but it does have the interior wallet, which is kind of cool. It's a little bit different despite having the ink marks. And then the old proverbial FTD 1980s rainbow mug. I have found 3 of these this summer, which is kind of crazy. I just wish I could find the Fire King Jadeite mugs with the C handle for the same price, but hope springs eternal. Got my buddy Phil. He's just pulling up here. Well, just got to wrap my good friend, my partner in crime, Phil. Hadn't seen him in over a week. He'd been out of town. Kind of gave him the rundown on what I seen inside of the estate sale, and he kind of already knew that the ladies having the sale are pricey, and that is generally the case with a lot of estate sales, especially those who hire agencies to help them sell their items. But my phone is getting a little bit dead, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep my talking to a minimum, and hopefully I'll find a few more deals. So I made my way actually into my little hometown of Aztec, New Mexico. My dad was out garage selling here this morning and said he felt like it would probably be worth it for me to make the pilgrimage 10 minutes east into Aztec to see if I couldn't maybe get a last ditch effort on buying a few things. He did say there was a lot of garage sales in town for it being a Friday, so I decided to go ahead and take that lead. However, it is homecoming here in Aztec. We got the football game tonight. We got a parade this afternoon, and because of that, my kiddos will be getting out of school a little bit earlier, so I only got about an hour before I need to boogie back to the bus stop. Primarily, my first and most important job in this world is being a dad. It is by far the best job I've ever had, and sometimes it's hard, but if you have children, you'll know what I'm talking about. They're wonderful, and I've truly been blessed with 3 beautiful kids. None of them are really all that enthused about my YouTube. They think it's kind of silly, but they are proud of me, and I know that, and that's a big reason I'm doing it. I'm doing it for them, and I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it so I can give them a better life, and that's why I'm here. So just know that if you're tired of your job, you're tired of your circumstances, you're tired of somebody you share a life with, it is never too late to peel off, to try to take a different path. Sometimes that road less traveled is the one that makes all the difference. I know I'm getting a little bit cliche-ish or quoting things I haven't made up, but I'm serious about it. Reselling has changed my life. Having a YouTube channel has been exciting. It's been fun, and I've met so many people from all over the world that have supported me. So if you ever need some encouragement to do anything outside of the box, I'm your guy. Just know that I'll always be a big cheerleader for you, and I'll always encourage anybody to take on something new. I think that's important. I think that's part of our evolution, and I don't think we're meant to do the same thing for a lifetime, especially if we get tired of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off my soapbox now and try to find a few more garage sales to wind this thing down. Strikeout Deluxe, and at 11:30, 11:40, it's a little bit hard picking, so that's okay. There's a lot of garage sale boxes, like my dad said. I'm just gonna race right down the street. I believe there's 2 more very nearby, and again, just keeping those fingers crossed. Well, striking out. It just seems that everybody wants a lot for their junk, or there's just no good junk to be bought. That's what happens later in the day. I am not surprised by that. So kind of slow out there today, but that is not abnormal for October in northern New Mexico. Garage sales are just dying off, and I just have to get over it. But I'm going to go ahead and do a quick haul video with you because there's not a whole lot to share with you, but I do have a few good finds for the day. Tell you about what I paid, tell you a little bit more about what I hope to get for these items, and I'll wind it down. So first item up to bat is my old business partner. Now I picked up this Detroit style Carhartt jacket, new with tags, for $25. The little old lady was sweet as could be, but she wanted 40 on it, and I just quickly countered to 25. What helped the deal is it was actually kind of covered in dog hair and still is, so it's going to have to get the love of a lint roller before it gets listed, and that's a lot of L words. But anyhow, I'm glad that it's new with tags. I will often pay between $15 to $25 sometimes for a Carhartt that's used, as long as it's in decent condition. So to pick one up for this price is kind of nice. These only sell for about $100 online, new with tags. And one thing that will devalue it a little, but not a whole lot, is that it does have embroidery, and unfortunately it does have somebody's name. But I sell Carhartt jackets all the time with embroidery, with stains, and with holes, and it's just a tried, tested, and true outfit jacket company, one of my favorites, and that's why I like to call it my business partner. So there's that guy. I only gave $25 for these two vintage toys. I love vintage toys. These are 1950s Heartland Tonto and the Lone Ranger with both of their horses. Now, Tonto looks like he's missing his feather. I did not realize that the feather had broken off, which seems to be the case in a lot of the pictures of other ones I've seen. And the Lone Ranger is missing one pistol, but from what I did doing some research, it looked like a lot of the other ones that had sold were missing their pistols. Prices with vintage toys can be really tricky. They can be all across the board. Some people might think they have a gold mine. Some people might be realistic and want to sell it for a competitive price. That's probably what I'll do. I'm not so certain. I might sell these separately, but I might sell them together. They might move a little quicker if I sell them together. If I sell them separately, I probably could make a little bit more off of them, and I'm thinking I could probably sell them individually for somewhere between $50 to $70, but if I put them together, I might be able to make $40 to $50 more. I'm just basing that off what I've seen. But I love vintage toys. This is not really in the genre of toys I'm after. Like I said earlier in the video today, I like 80s toys, I like 90s toys, but this is my dad's generation, so he got a kick out of checking these out. He's a flipper, he's a junk picker, and he's a guy that's into antiques. Not this type of antiques, but he has a great appreciation for anything old, and that is this. And I just love anytime I can find some cool vintage toys. So, gonna move on. This here I picked up from an estate sale. It was about the only thing worth the grab for the estate sale price. Does have some damage to it, but it's still Coach, and that means somebody will probably gladly pay me $25 to $35 for it because it's leather. Because it has some ink stains in the inside, which I probably won't really worry about trying to get out, it will devalue it, and it is scuffed up, but that's all right too. It's Coach, it moves, and I sell a lot of beat up Coach wallets and purses, and I don't try to put too much work into them because they're beat up. But talking beat up, here's another one of my business partners. These are some Ariat steel toe work boots. I've been looking at these guys for most of the summer, and the price has just continued to fall. So for the nominal price of $4, I was willing to grab them. Beat up steel toe work boots generally sell for me pretty good if they're a good brand, and I am very picky about what I buy. Generally, I only buy Red Wings, Chippewa, Ariat, and once in a blue moon, some Keen boots. If they're a newer style, they will sell, but you got to be patient. The right person has to come along and be willing to pay up for a pair of boots that are kind of beat up and haggard. And so these guys here might get me somewhere between $38 and $48. That's just off the top of my head. They're going to take some time to need to be cleaned up, or I'm going to have to take some time, I should say, and give them some love. That's just how it goes when you sell used stuff. Now, this grab here was 50 cents. These only sell for around $10 online, but it's Harley Davidson. Harley Davidson is a brand that's highly collectible. It's sought after, and there's quite a few of these that it sold. So for 50 cents to turn it into 10, 12 bucks, I'll be happy with that. Might take a little bit of time to move. That's all right. That's the name of this game. I'm in it for the long run. So got this Harley Davidson coffee mug down here, 75 cents, hoping I might be able to make low to mid 20s off of it. It'll probably take some time to sell, but again, Harley Davidson, highly collectible, highly sought after, and the retail price on anything Harley Davidson is outrageous. And so For all you cup connoisseurs or collectors, you know that I got the Grail. Now, these old 80s FTD mugs don't sell for a whole lot, but there's a following of people that want them. They used to be really popular with the hippies. Now they're popular with a different demographic of people, and that's fine. I'm here to cater to anybody that wants to buy it for the right price. And again, it was just given to me. So yeah, got it with the Coach Wallet. The lady who runs the estate sale just gave it to me. She recognized me. She knows I flip stuff. So that was cool of her. But the big score of the day, and I didn't even know it till I got home and did some research, is this commemorative Resell Jack Daniels Old Number 7 helmet. Jack Daniels stuff is collectible. It's just one of those brands. It's one of those names. It's one of those things that are American. And so there's a lot of guys out there that like to stuff this kind of stuff in their man cave, and they like to decorate their bars with it. So I paid $1 for this, and these guys are selling online for $80 to $100. So this is definitely a score. I'm going to have to give it the love of white eraser. A dry eraser, I'm sorry, because it has a few little marks on it, but I think I can get it clean. That's just the nature of the game when you're dealing with used. You got to be willing to polish some things up sometimes to get the maximal price, and you also got to know when it's just not worth your time to even polish it. So that's it, my friends. So now's the time where I got to get down to brass tacks and actually do some real work and get these items put into my inventory. But as always, if you like this video, please reach out there, hit that like button, make a comment, or please subscribe.